In search and rescue expert, retired Navy Captain Armin Kurdian, the Consul General of Israel to the Pacific Southwest, Israel Bakar, and the Editor-in-Chief of the Foreign Desk, Lisa Daftari. Thank you all for coming on. Israel Bakar, to you first. I want to know if you think Israel should respond, and how robust should this counterattack be in your estimation?
I do not know any other nation that will experience a massive, unprecedented attack, military attack by missiles, that will not want to defend its people and to make sure that in the future nobody's going to do it again. So it doesn't mean that we're going to attack tonight or tomorrow, but it does mean that we have the legal right to do it and the moral standing to protect our people. So you just heard the Chief of Staff, the Israeli Chief of Staff, saying that Israel is going to respond. One is going to be how we're going to do it. We're not going to divulge it, of course, on TV.
Right.
But I believe that Iran is going to hear from us.
Yeah. To you, Armin Kurdian, now. I want to go back and forth. Kevin touched on this. Peter Doocy and John Kirby today. Watch.
So let's talk about,
and they did it anyway.
And let's talk about what we did, Peter. Let's talk about don't and did. Let's talk about Saturday night. Yes, they fired an unprecedented amount of munitions, but how much of a success did they have, Peter? None. Zero.
It's a specious argument when you say don't and they do. And then you say, well, but they didn't do that much. They did. Stop it, they did, Armin.
Absolutely. Rhetoric counts for nothing from this administration. There's no substance behind it, and there's no belief by anyone that the president and this administration is addressing that the United States will carry through with its words. I mean, look at the example of saying, well, we're behind you, ironclad, but don't strike back. If you strike back, you're on your own. I mean, in the same sentence, these kinds of things, and that's a complete lack of credibility. And honestly, when you look at the president right there in that press conference in the Oval Office, having to read from notes cards something that's so patently obvious, how can you expect decisive action from this White House?
We're behind Israel. That's it. There's not on a card. We're behind Israel. General Jack Keane, Lisa, said the following. Watch.
Much of the rockets and missiles that we saw being fired are literally being paid for by the Biden administration's sanction relief money, hostage payment money, and the failure to really enforce tough sanctions that the previous administration enforced.
What is it about Iran that we just simply won't punish them?
It's from the time that Biden decided to run for office. He announced that he was going to get back into the Iran nuclear deal. From that moment, the mullahs got the message that this is going to be an easy ride for them with no consequences. It's that foreign policy that got us here. We took the Houthis off the terror list. We released billions of dollars to them in multiple installments. We took all the vital sanctions off of Iran's regime, and they got the message. It wasn't don't. It was here you go. We're not going to punish you for anything. So, of course, deterrence does not start on the Red Sea. Deterrence does not start with Israel now responding. Deterrence had to have started at the White House podium, and it did not.
Yeah, Israel will get you water in a second, but first I have a question for you. Former CIA station chief Dan Hoffman, I always find instructive. He had this to say. Watch.
Iran's calculus right now is that if Israel decides not to strike, launch a counterstrike, then the paradigm has changed in the Middle East, and Iran, it's open season for Iran to target the Israeli homeland.
That's the key phrase, Israel. It's open season for Iran to attack the homeland.
Well, I hope that the Iranians are not going to get this kind of idea. It's a good creative, but it's a very, very dangerous reality. If Iran is going to attack Israel again, I think the Middle East is going to look completely different after our attack against Iran. So I will tell to the Iranians, better do not mess with Israel again.
I think it's good advice. Do you think this emboldens Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas?
Without any credible sanctions like Lisa was talking about, absolutely. During the Trump administration, the Shiite militias in Syria saying there's no more money, the golden times are over, where are the weapons coming from? And now it's coming in. And the ambassador to the UN, Prime Minister Erdogan, is saying we need unrestricted sanctions. But this administration simply won't do it. And there's probably a lot of reasons behind it.
20 seconds left. I mean, Biden keeps moving left, Lisa.
And imagine a day when the Islamic Republic can launch the same attack, but with nuclear weapons. And that's what we're looking at. Next time, they won't send a save the date as they did this time. We won't know when it's coming. Next time, Jordan and Saudi Arabia and the UAE, they might not help us. We don't know what next time will look like, but we have to prevent it.
Lisa Daftari, Israel Bakar, Armin Kurdian, thank you all. Jury's